seated. He's ready. Let him make his comments. If there are things that we need to straighten up, then I will be able to respond.
Yes, Honorable Peter Nuchi, you will start as chairman of the Committee for Education. You have 15 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to make comments on the budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana for the year 2026 with the theme Resetting for Growth, Jobs and Economic Transformation, delivered by Honorable Dr. Kesala Tuforson, Minister for Finance, on behalf of the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Speaker, I wish to first of all give some information as to what is happening in the education sector in this country. Mr. Speaker, it is known as a fact that since the beginning of this year, our students in the senior high schools and technical institutes under the free SHS program are no longer fed with weevil-infested beans. That is a fact. It is also important to note that our students are no longer fed with expired, repackaged rice. Mr. Speaker, it's also a fact that our students no longer take tea at breakfast without bread. And I can add that they now take breakfast with eggs. Mr. Speaker, at the beginning of this year, January 2025, it was so crucial that if immediate action was not taken, our students were going to go hungry. The previous government had not made any provision for the term beginning in January 2025. So the Chief of Staff had to put in place stringent measures for a committee to be constituted to meet so that we could arrange for the supply of foodstuffs to senior high schools. And I want to appreciate the heads of assisted senior high schools for the role they played. And as we speak now, purchase of food items at the senior high schools is decentralized. We don't no longer expect buffer stock to supply food items from Accra straight to Tamale Senior High School or Wa Secondary School or First Senior High School in Akachi North or Peki Secondary School in South Dai, sorry. Mr. Speaker, it is also on record that currently government spends over 51 million Ghana cedis a week to feed students in our senior high schools. I will not give you any source, but it's a fact, and I know for that. Mr. Speaker, we approved the budget for 2025, and I am telling you that this is the calculation that we have in the 2025 budget. 51 million Ghana cedis a week to feed students. Mr. Speaker, so you will realize that with the decentralization, heads are having free hands in managing the procurement of food items in their schools. And that has even given them the voice. Now they can talk. Previously, they were unable to talk. And now that they procure the food items, there's no comment, there's no trouble anywhere again. And Mr. Speaker, that is what we are resetting for Ghana. Mr. Speaker, it is also on record that last year, or a few years ago, it was difficult for government to release money to WAEC, that is West African Examinations Council, to organize internal examinations such as the BECE and the West African Senior High School Examination. in this chamber, if the minority chief whip were here, he would agree or he would confirm that he and I had to work hard in hand with Honorable Agboja at the time to make sure that monies were released by Ministry of Finance to WAEC, because WAEC was threatening to postpone the conduct of examinations, the 2 examinations last year. And we had to make sure that as we speak today, government does not owe WAEC even 1 CD for 2025 basic education certificate examination, as well as WASE. So what again do we want? That is the way we have to reset the agenda for education in this country. Our students should not be made of hostage because the government is unable to pay registration fees for their examinations. Mr. Speaker, if you visit our senior high schools, the Committee of Education in May this year visited a number of senior high schools in some selected regions, and what we saw was very bad. Furniture was a big challenge. We went to Eburi Girls School, one of the Category A schools that we have in this country. Students were sitting on Ghana Must Go as chairs. But if you go there today, they have very good furniture that they are using. That is because the reset agenda in education is working.
That's right. That's right. Listen.
Go to Presbyterian Secondary Technical, also in Aburi. You were there, we went. And you saw the furniture situation last year. We have been able to provide them with furniture now, and everything is going on well. That is the reset agenda. Mr. Speaker, we have promised Ghanaians that the obnoxious double track in the next 2 years will be abolished.
Underline, obnoxious.
Now, if you want to know what is happening, Mr. Speaker, you were once a member of the Education Committee and you knew what was going on. You will realize that it did not help in academic quality education at all. And that must be abolished. That one is very, very important, because all schools, school calendar must be the same for all of them. You all go to school at the same time and break at the same time. As we are speaking, Mr. Speaker, 1 year group is at home, waiting for another group to go on holiday before they can also go in. That is not the best way to go. And that's why the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Education are promising Ghanaians that in 2 years' time, double track will be out of the scene. Mr. Speaker, it is also interesting to note that this year we have brought on board 70 private senior high schools as part of the free SHS program. And observations or information available shows that it is going on well. And next year, we'll have it expanded. Because once they are on board, we are sure that it's one way to eliminate the double track in our senior high schools. Mr. Speaker, if you also go around our schools, there are so many abandoned and stalled projects in our schools. You go to a few schools, some schools, as many as 5, 6, or 10 projects abandoned at various levels. This government is determined to make sure that those projects that were started in 2016 in preparation for free senior high school, your government came and abandoned them. You abandoned the e-blocks. You abandoned the dormitories. You abandoned the dining hall projects. All of them, you abandoned them. But I can assure you that work is being done to make sure that these projects are completed and we will be able to eliminate the double track in the next 2 years. Mr. Speaker, the previous government only renamed universities in this country. the immediate past, let me put it that way, just renamed universities in this country. They failed to add new ones. Now, we are going to make sure in this budget that a number of universities are going to be established this year. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, a loan agreement was signed and money made available for the establishment of a campus of the University of Environmental and Development Studies at Donkokro. Your government, the past government, diverted that loan from Donkokro to Bunsu, denying the good people of Donkokro that opportunity. But I can assure you, per this budget, the University of Engineering and Agricultural Science at Bunsu will have a campus at Bunsu, at Donkokro, Kenyase, and Achirenswa. So that is number one university. The next one will be 2 technical universities. Now, you have 2 new technical universities at Jasikan and Techiman. It is our policy that every region should have at least one public university. And you created the regions, you failed to provide them with those facilities. We can assure you that next year onwards, we are going to provide these regions with technical universities, as well as public universities in Kintampo and Dabai. What again do you think we should be able to do in education as far as this is concerned? Mr. Speaker, it is also on record that PTAs were not given room to operate under the previous government. But as we speak, PTAs have been reinstated. There are no more PAs, Parents Association, but the PTA has been restored. We all know the role PTAs play in the educational development of this country. But why, for 8 years, we have denied them that role that they should play in the development of education in this country. Now they are back, and I'm happy that they have started well, and they will continue to contribute towards provision of quality education in the country. Mr. Speaker, it is also on record that for the first time in about 8-9 years, capitation grant is not in arrears. School authorities need this small amount of money to do some repairs that they have to do or carry out. But what do we see? The monies are in arrears over the years. But all these arrears have been cleared, and we are current on the payment of capitation grants. We assure you that this year and years to come, schools in this country will be what our children should attend. So you will realize that our institutions are now becoming better than they used to be. That culture of silence is no more there. They are making sure that they voice whatever concerns they have. And so what is it? Headmasters are free, they can talk, teachers can talk without intimidation. You see it? So that intimidation level that they suffered is over. Mr. Speaker, you also know that we promised automatic recruitment of teachers. Yes, teachers who left colleges in 2013, 2023 and 2024 are still at home. But we can assure you that the Ministry of Finance will grant clearance and these teachers will be recruited. You cannot train the teachers and make them remain at home while the classrooms are empty. But take it from us that things will be better than we had come to meet it. The licensure exam, we have promised to remove it, and it is going to happen because it is being integrated into the curriculum of colleges of education, and that is the way to go. Mr. Speaker, Before I sit down, I want to thank the Minister for Roads.
That's right.
On the big push. In 2021, 2022, we had Year for Roads. The whole Denu Road was there, but nothing happened. But as we speak now, contractors are busy working on the road. So, Honorable Minister, congratulations to you and His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Let me now turn to the minority. Honorable John Darko will take your bite.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity given to me to comment on the budget estimates, the budget as presented by the Honorable Minister for Finance. But, Mr. Speaker, by way of preliminary comments, I would like to remind the Minister for Education that from what he just said, he's trying to tell the people of Ghana that a double track will end in 2027.
Minister for Education is not
Deputy
here.
Minister for Education, Chairman of the Education Committee.
Very well.
Mr. Speaker, at page 79, paragraph 560 of the budget statement, this is what the Finance Minister told the people of Ghana. He said, and Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I read, he said that, Mr. Speaker, government has expanded the free SHS program to include 70 private schools through the computerized school placing system to eliminate double track system. Ongoing projects in the public SHS will be completed to facilitate a full transition to single track by 2026. So, Chairman of Education Committee,
chameleon budgets.
What you are saying, what you are telling the people of Ghana is completely different from what the Minister for Finance told us. And so you were just misleading this House. The budget is so clear, the Minister for Finance heard it. 2026, and you are here telling us 2027. Who should we believe? Should we believe you or the Minister for Finance and Education? Who do we believe? It looks like this is a confused government. But Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I will go on.
Leader, will you spare us so that the next speaker will address it if there's any is your roommate?
We said one room for 4 years. I wouldn't have done this to him, but Mr. Speaker, yes, roommates. In the university, you share rooms. Mr. Speaker, in Pursuant to Order 1221C, the chairman for education was very clear. He said next year. Mr. Speaker, we are speaking in 2025. Next year is 2026. So he was very clear. There's no ambiguity. So the honorable member shouldn't place any ambiguity on what the chairman of Education Committee said by way of commentary. Very clear, Mr. Speaker. So there's no ambiguity there. Stay on course.
Well.
No, he said 2026. That's what he said.
Honorable members, please indulge me. I am not going to entertain this kind of interruptions. If you think what a member is saying is not right, just jot it down. Once you get your opportunity, you address it, please. let's so that we can get the flow of the comments. Please, let's do it that way. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, you shouldn't have given the majority chief whip the opportunity then. Now that you have opened that box, if they are also they are arguing that we also think that it is in breach of our orders, you need to listen to us. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker himself and the first deputy speaker, they allow if you have to come under other order 123 or 122 in terms of any rule. So, Mr. Speaker, if you make the statement that you will not allow, they will mislead the House.
Honourable members.
Fronts. So, Mr. Speaker, we should be allowed in instances that we think that somebody is misleading the House or on a point of order, we can interrupt the debate.
Honourable
because
members.
that is exactly what he did. That is what he did. So we should be given an opportunity to
Honourable
also
members.
say.
Honourable members, today I am presiding, and this is the way I want to go. Please indulge me. I will not entertain any interruptions so that we can flow and we can get this job done early enough. If you could go back, yesterday we spent a lot of time because of these interjections. So I'm not going to entertain that, please. Yes, Honourable John Darko, let's hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hope I get my time back. So, yes, Mr. Speaker, just to make that point again, last week, the Minister for Education was very emphatic about these 2 years. And so, I'm surprised that the chair of the Education Committee will come here to contradict the minister. And even in their budget, the Minister for Finance is very clear that this is going to start next year. So we want to see the consistency from the side of the government. At this point, it looks to me that there is no consistency. But, Mr. Speaker, I would like to move to the energy sector and deal with some of the issues raised in the budget. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, if I may read paragraph 861, 863, and 864 of the budget as presented. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Finance made some startling revelations in my view. He stated, Mr. Speaker, with your permission, if I may read. He said that in line with section 27 of the PRMA, the Investment Advisory Committee on Investment Policy and Management of the Ghana Petroleum Funds. Mr. Speaker, as a people, we really need to understand when we say petroleum funds, Ghana Petroleum Funds, it includes the Ghana Heritage Funds and then the Ghana Stabilization Funds. Now, the Minister for Finance is saying that he's been advised to move this Ghana Petroleum Funds into another investment. Mr. Speaker, at paragraph 863, this is what he had to say. He says, under the current legal framework, investment from the Ghana Petroleum Funds are restricted to low-risk foreign-denominated securities issued by entities outside Ghana, such as the World Bank, IMF, and other top-rated sovereigns. That is the case, to protect the wealth of this nation, the savings of this country. But he goes on to say, in paragraph 864, that unfortunately, according to the Minister for Finance, this approach has yielded very little returns. He said that since the establishment of these funds from 2011, total reserves has reached, and Mr. Speaker, when Minister for Finance speaks, we need to listen and listen well. He says the total reserves has reached 1.46 billion. Yet, the only interest we have, that has accrued to us is 1.94 million, an average return of 1% per year. This is what the Minister for Finance is telling the people of Ghana. Yet you go to the Public Interest Accountability Committee report, which receives their report from Bank of Ghana. The money so far, according to page 71 of 2025 PIAC report, which came out in June, it says that, and Mr. Speaker, with your permission, if I may read, page 71 for those who want to refer, page 71 of the PIAC report of 2025. It says, from August 2011 to June 2025, cumulative petroleum receipts distributed some up to 11 billion. Now, the interesting part here, Mr. Speaker, is that he said, whilst the Ghana Stabilization Fund has received 2.6 billion, and Ghana Heritage Fund has received 1.1 billion. Mr. Speaker, the total of what the Ghana Stabilization Fund and then the Ghana Heritage Fund, the total is $3.7 billion. $3.7 billion. Yet, $billion. Yet, the Minister for Finance is telling the people of Ghana, oh, you want to know? I will tell you. The Minister for Finance is telling the people of Ghana that we have received only 1.94 million. And then it goes on to say that the interest that the country has received from this 1.4 billion is actually 194 million. And Mr. for Finance is speaking in November 2025. Mr. Speaker, the interest he's talking about, the 1.9 billion 1.9 million he's talking about as interest from the investment is here. In the 2024 report, the Minister for Finance is telling us the interest we got from our petroleum fund. He is quoting 2024 documents when we are in 2025. So I'm asking myself, what kind of data are they feeding the people of Ghana? Whose interest do they serve? Mr. Speaker, I want to go to page 78 of PIAC 2024 report. It's here. It says that Ghana Petroleum Fund's net profit since November stands at the profit, so that's the interest, stands at 194 million. 2024 PIAC report. That is what the Minister for Finance is telling us in 2025 November, when there is a new PIAC report 2025. Minister for Finance doesn't even know. But you know what, Mr. Speaker? I know why. I know why the Minister for Finance will want the people of Ghana to believe that our petroleum funds has received only 1 billion when it's 3 billion. I know why the Minister for Finance is telling us that the only interest we have is 194 million. Mr. Speaker, on the 12th of November, they brought a memorandum to this house. Minister for Finance brought a memorandum to this house to tell the people of Ghana that we should stop invest in the safe bonds. They now want to take our billions at 3.6 billion, which they have reported as 1.6 billion. They want to invest it, according to them, into some energy sector development in this country. Mr. Speaker, what this will do is that it will deny the people of Ghana what they will get, the future generation. It will deny them their interest. Mr. Speaker, under the section 20 of the PRMA, it talks about the fact that at the end of the petroleum, at the end of the whole petroleum business, when our oil reserves have depleted, the Ghana Heritage Fund, the Ghana Stabilization Fund will come together to form the Ghana Wealth Fund. But you know what the Minister for Finance is trying to do? He's trying to take the Ghana Wealth Fund to spend now. This is what the Minister for Finance is trying to do. Mr. Speaker, this budget, if you look at it from this angle, violates all the principles of sustainable development. Mr. Speaker, sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the current generation without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. What this budget does is to deprive the future generation of their needs. Mr. Speaker, when we look at the budget, you will see that the Minister for Finance is not serving the interests of the people of Ghana. He's not serving the interests of the future generation. This budget is let's eat now and forget the future generation. Is that what the people of Ghana voted for you for? You were supposed to protect the interests of everybody, including the future generation. Yes. This budget lacks the sustainable development principle which you have all signed on to. It has no basis, and Mr. Speaker, we need to question them. The CSOs need to take this up. Why is it that the Ghana Stabilization Fund and Ghana's Heritage Fund is being plundered? By this budget, the Minister for Finance is saying that he wants to take the money and spend now. And look, it is here. On the 12th of November, They brought this memorandum to Parliament this year. You all have it. Go into your letterbox. It's there. They want to change it so that they can spend the money now. The people of Ghana reject that, and this should not be accepted. Mr. Speaker, again, if you look at the budget, this is a budget that has no interest in protecting the environment of this country. This budget has no way of protecting the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the budget, yes, you can see that at paragraph 1175, the Minister for Finance has made some budgetary allocation of 400 million Ghana cedis to the waste management sector. 400 million Ghana cedis. Maybe we can say that, hey, Mr. President, we thank you for giving us 400 million cedis for waste management treatment. But Kwesi Pratt in his voice will say, Mr. President, there was a Kwame, to wait. However, Mr. President, we want to remind you, in 2025, how much have you given to the waste management companies to fight waste in this country? How much have you given to the waste management companies? Mr. Speaker, let me try and read to you a report from professors in Legon, Professor Korte, Professor Texan, Professor Kwame Ajay. Mr. Speaker, in their report, the high cost of improper waste management and poor sanitation in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, they say that poor waste management in Ghana poses a significant public health risk, fueling outbreaks of sanitation-related diseases like cholera, as seen in October. This public health crisis leads to premature death and increased absenteeism, ultimately hurting the productivity and economic production. Mr. Speaker, they continue to say that studies have shown that municipal waste management system globally contribute over 200 billion to every economy. Now, Ghana, we don't know how much we get. Mr. Speaker, interestingly, the report says that the WHO says that if you invest $1 in waste management, we get $5 out of it. However, if you look at what we've been doing with our budget, there's no dedicated fund for waste management treatment. Mr. Speaker, the sanitation levy that was introduced has now been repurposed to pay the energy sector debt. Mr. Speaker, we have decided as a country that we do not want to treat waste. As a vice chair of the Environment Science Committee, I find this extremely dangerous that we sit on a time bomb, that our environment is deteriorating, that waste management is not being taken care of. 400 million out of a possible 1.4 billion Ghana cedis is what Mr. President has given to the waste management treatment. I am afraid that if we are not careful in this country, outbreak of cholera will kill the citizens of this country. So you ask yourself, whose interest do you serve, Mr. President? Mr. Atofosi, whose interest do you serve? Do you serve the interest of foreign companies, those in the oil and gas industry, or you serve the interest of the people of Ghana? This budget, as presented, has no way to help the people of Ghana. This budget, as presented, is not helping us to fight the environmental crisis that is upon us. This budget is empty when it comes to environmental sanitation. 400 million cedis will not do a thing. Don't pay everything
John Darko,
to
please
the foreign companies.
Wind up, please.
Mr. Speaker, really. Mr. Speaker, so I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. But just to reiterate that we should not allow our money to be repurposed. We should not allow these.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Honorable members, before we take the second round, kindly indulge me to acknowledge our guests at the public gallery. We have Katoma Legacy Academy. Katoma Legacy Academy. They are being led by Mr. George Marcus Ashiama, who is the head teacher, and the school is located in the Amasaman constituency. Amasaman constituency. I hope the member is here. Do you have the member here? Well. The second school is Blessed Adventist Academy. Blessed Adventist Academy. They are being led by Rosemary Dejo, who is the NCCE National Commission for Civic Education. And the school is located in the Pong Katamanso constituency. Pong Katamanso constituency. I hope you have the member here. You also don't have a member here. The third group is Nganomans KKMAGHS Civic Education Club. They are being led by Jones Nana Ketu, who is the NCCE, and the school is located in the Pong Katamanso constituency. The fourth group is Sibiase KKMAGHS Civic Education Club, and they are being led by Rita Jane, who is the Social Studies Facilitator, and the school, once again, is located in the Pong Katamanso constituency. The last group is South Dai Women's Group. South Dai Women's Group, and they are being led by Patience Melody Salu, who is the group leader, and the school is located at South Dai constituency. I could see the member is sharing the group up. Well, honorable members, on your behalf, I welcome our guests and wish them well. So, honorable guests, we wish you well. The students among you, we ask you to study hard so that tomorrow you take our places when we are not there. Well, we move to, is Collins Hadumako here? Yes. We move to Issa, Honorable Atta Issa.
How many minutes?
Honorable, you have 15 minutes. We have 10 minutes, sorry.
Oh.
You have 10 minutes. So your time starts from now.
All right.
10 minutes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Let me use this opportunity to thank the Minister of Finance for presenting the 2026 budget with the team resetting for growth, jobs, and economic transformation. Mr. Speaker, I want to begin by correcting some various erroneous impressions that has been created with regards to the investment earnings from our petroleum revenue. Ghana, in the current legislations, has a 1% rate of return on all our petroleum holdings. For example, the Stabilization Fund and the Heritage Funds. The Ministry of Finance, having talked about the fiscal rigidities that is confronting us as a nation, has decided to diversify the investment portfolio that will generate a total return of 7%. And I wonder, in what mindset will you describe 1% as good and 7% as bad? Mr. Speaker, let me begin by highlighting some key highlights and strategic vision of the Finance Minister and the government. The total expenditure made by this government in 2026 is expected to be at 302.5 billion, equivalent to about 18.9% of GDP. However, the total projected revenue and grants total an amount of 268.1 billion, that is 18.3% of the prior year revenue. But I want to, for the purposes of education, Speaker, it will be too simplistic to just deduct 302.5 billion from 268.1 billion and claim that is the deficit of government. Speaker, let me use this opportunity to provide some indication. Every expenditure framework under any economic circumstance, we prepare short to medium-term expenditure frameworks. So the 302.5 billion does not only indicate expenditure for the year 2026, it includes multi-year commitments in the budget. Speaker, the best measure of fiscal consolidation is the primary balance on commitment basis. This is because the primary balance on commitment basis isolates the independent variable called the interest payments. That is what the government doesn't have control over. Dr. Atuforsen has achieved 1.6% primary deficit on commitment basis. This means that government is spending within our means, and that is what we didn't see under the 8-year rule of Nana Akufo-Addo. Yeah. Speaker, the budget aligns with Ghana's commitment under the IMF program, balancing stabilization with productive investment. That is the goal of this budget. Speaker, let me now go to the macroeconomic stability and other micro factors. Speaker, the 2026 budget builds on macro stabilization gains made in 2025, strengthen fiscal discipline, restrain borrowing, and improve debt dynamics. Speaker, as a result of our prudent management of the Ghanaian economy, where you saw that local treasury bill issues have gone down from 28.9% to about 10.7%. This has made domestic interest debt servicing to decline. For instance, if you look at the interest payment projections, they are more manageable and within means. And the Finance Ministry has projected interest payment at 57.7%. Speaker, if you look at our inflation, people want us to believe that today we should not celebrate inflation of 8%. What it does is that it guarantees confidence in the Ghanaian economy. 2, it allows for people to make proper planning. And 3, it does not erode the savings of the ordinary Ghanaian. Yeah. That is a micro factor that I want my brothers to know. Yeah. Speaker, in 2026, the Finance Ministry projects inflation to still be within the 6 to 10% inflation band. Mr. Speaker, let me now come to the growth projections. In March, when I was contributing to the debate, I made it clear that it is not the absolute growth that we are worried about. It's the source of the growth or the drivers of growth. This current growth of 4.8% that is expected at the end of the year is largely driven by manufacturing, industry, and agriculture. Yay. Speaker, the budget prioritizes productivity, investment in agriculture, especially the value chain, infrastructure, the roads, the big push projects, energy, local enterprises. Reforms in the tax systems are intended to make business and environment more competitive, reducing compliance burden for small, medium-scale, and incentivize industrialization. Speaker, it is important for me to now turn my attention to the external sector performance. As a result of the exchange rate stability, and please, I heard the last time Honorable Kabiru make the assertion that the NDC cannot point to one single thing that led to the debt reduction. You don't need to point to anything. When in doubt, observe the exchange rate. The famous quote by His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. As a result of the management of the exchange rate, the public debt component, that is external and dollar rated, when the cedi is stabilized and reduced, it means that the foreign component will naturally fall. And that is what accounts for moving the debt from 726 billion to about 630 billion. And let me make this statement, Mr. Speaker. President Akufo-Addo, since 1950s up to date, before President Akufo-Addo, we have had 13 presidents. 13 presidents. They borrowed a total amount of 122 billion Ghana cedis. President Akufo-Addo moving from 122 billion to about 726 billion. Hey. 6 times more than all the presidents combined, Mr. Speaker. Hey. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the credit ratings, Fitch upgraded Ghana long-term foreign currency issuer default rating from restricted default to B- with a stable outlook, citing progress of external debt restructuring, macroeconomic stability, and credit policy risk. S&P also upgraded Ghana ratings to B- with a stable outlook, pointing to improved external balances and stronger policy credibility. Mr. Speaker, I have this to say from a Bloomberg website. The importance of good credit ratings, this is what Bloomberg has to say. These upgrades are not symbolic. They reflect real improvements in Ghana external liquidity, its capacity to save debt, and investor confidence. That is the impact of this thing is making on us. Mr. Speaker, Ghana has successfully restructured about 13.1 billion euro bond debt that they bequeathed to us under the MPP regime. Mr. Speaker, it is important for me to touch basically with infrastructure. The roads minister is here. I am proud to be associated with the NDC government that is committed to spending 30 billion Ghana cedis in the Big Push program. And this will be the largest single-year investment in fiscal infrastructure in recent history. Mr. Speaker, this is not the usual 11,000 kilometers of roads President Akufo-Addo mentioned here. This infrastructure investment we are seeing is linked directly to productive sectors. These roads will support agriculture, enclave development, regional integration, and trade routes. Mr. Speaker, the agriculture sector, which is the major driver of employment and food security in our country, is expected to be transformed, and the pillar is indicated in the budget, where we allocate 245 million Ghana cedis to food security and agro-industrial programs. Speaker, about 828 million Ghana cedis for industrial enclave roads, about 1,000 kilometers of roads is expected to improve agriculture. Speaker, 690 million Ghana cedis to operationalize the farm service centers, which we are proud to initiate and start next year by commissioning the first 50 phase of the farm mechanization centers. Mr. Speaker, 6.9 billion Ghana cedis, and this is where my interest is. MPP left this country with a total unemployment of 14.7%. Currently, if you look at the quarterly outdate from GSS, it is expected that about 5% reduction in poverty. That is the incident of poverty these programs are doing for our nation. Mr. Speaker, this budget doesn't seek to consolidate on only business and investment destinations. We are also mindful of the vulnerable. Mr. Speaker, let me take your attention to social investments and safety nets as contained in the budget. When you look at the livelihood empowerment against poverty, a whopping 1.1 billion Ghana cedis has been allocated to deal with the vulnerable. The Women's Development Bank, about 401 million, apprenticeship and the rest. Finally, I can see my time is running up. What I will say is that the out-10 is out now finally. In the beginning of the year, you say we are just doing projections. Now the out-10 is out. Indicators pound by pound, 2024, 2025. GDP growth for 2025 was 5.2%. That was the first 2 quarters. Currently, we are doing 6.3%. Inflation any year was 23.8%, currently at 8%. Debt to GDP ratio of 68.1%, currently 45%. Fiscal deficit of above 3% of GDP, currently 2.8%. Non-oil growth rate, that is 7.8% at a time, and currently we are growing and growing and growing better. I will end my statement, Mr. Speaker, by quoting from a famous playwright, which is, if you watch Game of Thrones before, they will say that Grandmaster Pesa will say that the small council grows smaller and smaller. By
Honorable members, Honorable Kabilo, you are the available leader. The rules has already been set. I said earlier on that I'm not going to entertain any interjections. If the figures he was sending out, you think it's not right, just dot it down so that once you or anybody from the side is speaking, we can, so that we can flow and get enough time for other things. So,
Mr. Speaker, I'm guided and I will take you from what you said. But when a person's name is mentioned, I think it did not
Honorable Kabilo, respectfully. So let me turn to Honorable Collins Admaku Mensah. Honorable Collins, you are deputy ranking and you have 15 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the budget as presented by my very good friend, Dr. Atofosin. Mr. Speaker, let me say that I stand here very, very proud as a member of this particular caucus, the mighty minority. Mr. Speaker, for the past 1 week, we've all had the opportunity to debate this budget. And any objective observer would say that the clarity of thought, the depth of the knowledge, the research, the deepness of the research has been displayed by the minority side. And Mr. Speaker, there's one particular theme. There's one particular theme that runs through all the debates from our side. Mr. Speaker, honesty. Honesty. Members from our side have been extremely honest with the facts. Mr. Speaker, members from our side are even candid enough, Mr. Speaker, to acknowledge some good things in this budget. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, I do not see say from our members, from our colleagues from the other side. All the debates that we've listened to from the majority side, none of them acknowledge the efforts by the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government. All of them. They fail to acknowledge any good thing that occurred in our government. Mr. Speaker, a few months ago, we were told that 1,357 containers have vanished from the port. The issue, Mr. Speaker, was debated in this house. And I recall the majority leader. He says, oh, heads must roll. How can containers develop wings? They've all moved away. I remember the minority leader advising them that they should take this as an opportunity to embark on major reforms within the energy sector. Mr. Speaker, thankfully, the energy minister listened to good advice. Today, after months of prayers and fasting, the containers have suddenly developed new wings. And Mr. Speaker, they have flown back into the same port. The same port. That is what I'm talking about, honesty, Mr. Speaker. I hear the finance minister with a very smiley face, talked about increment in revenue in ECG's operations. Mr. Speaker, that is true. Some increment has occurred. What he failed to say, Mr. Speaker, is that that increment is not because of the 10 months operations of ECG. Yes. What he failed to tell you, Mr. Speaker, that within the past 3 years, before the NDC came into power, the reliability improvement project that was begun by the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government saw to the Bibiani substation constructed. Yes. The Dabuasi substation constructed. Yes. The Awasu substation constructed. Yes. The Sewua substation constructed. Yes. The Tafu BSP reconstruction done. Yes. The Takrady port switching substation contracted. Yes. The Obuasi BSP substation constructed. Yes. And Mr. Speaker, the Kpando substation upgraded. These are programs that were embarked by the previous government that are yielding results today. Mr. Speaker, the minister failed to acknowledge that the system automation project that saw to the construction of the SCADA system and the VITT centers in Accra, Tema, and Takwa were all completed under the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, the technical loss reduction program that was embarked by the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government that led to 1,858 LV network extensions completed, 1,345 system improvement projects completed, yes, and 1,347 upgrading of distribution transformers completed. Yes. All these things were done under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government, which is what has led to some of the improvements we are seeing in the energy sector. Honesty, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, they failed to acknowledge that the commercial improvement project that led to the ECG Power App improvement, Haptel, my brother talked about it a few months ago. And Mr. Speaker, interestingly, that led to 1,078,181 smart prepaid meters installed by the end of 2024.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, there is nothing wrong in acknowledging the efforts by your previous administration that is leading to some improvement in revenues. But Mr. Speaker, I dare ask, is this 90 million revenue even the correct figure? Because the audited financials of ECG is there for everybody to see. In fact, the 1 billion figure that my minister talked about was achieved as far back as 2024.
Yes.
In fact, the total revenue of ECG at a close 2024 stood at 19.3 billion. Mr. Speaker, a simple calculation will tell you that the average on a monthly basis was about 1.8 billion. So this is not the first time ECG is recording revenues in the billions. Mr. Speaker, if you increase tariffs close to 18%, what do you expect? What you expect is revenue increase. What you expect is revenue increase. If you burden the Ghanaian people with a lot more tariffs, you should expect some revenue increment. But Mr. Speaker, I want to take you to paragraph 505. And it states, the ministry is implementing a national street lighting program to enhance safety and visibility. Over 1,900 solar street lights have been installed in Ashanti region, with an additional 10,000 smart units to be procured in 2026. And Mr. Speaker, when I saw this, I was a little bit alarmed because the members of the Energy Committee were informed of this particular program on the 10th of November. And Mr. Speaker, I'm prepared to tender this in as evidence. This is a letter from the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, dated 10th November 2025. The budget was read on the 14th of November 2025. Now, this particular letter on the 10th was written and addressed to all regional ministers. And Mr. Speaker, the heading I put, rehabilitation or installation of street lighting systems in regional capitals. And Mr. Speaker, it's very instructive to note. Paragraph 3. It says, as part of the project implementation arrangement, the ministry will officially launch and hand over the project site to the contractor on Wednesday, November 12th. Very instructive. The letter is dated 10th November, informing regional ministers that this particular program will be launched on the 12th. Then the finance minister comes to this house and tells us that within 2 days, 1,900 street lights have been installed. Mr. Speaker, I have the official letter. In fact, this letter was informing the regional ministers of the various contractors on the 10th. And telling the regional ministers that the program that the minister talked about on the 14th will be launched on the 12th. How a program that was launched on the 12th can necessitate or move to construction of 1,900 street lights in Ashanti region just beats my imagination. But Mr. Speaker, what is even more striking is that in this letter, the quantity to be installed per region is attached. And Mr. Speaker, I have it here. He says Ashanti region has received 1,900. Mr. Speaker, the letter from the ministry to all the various regional ministers, Ashanti region is entitled to only 800.
800.
Ashanti region is entitled to only 800. How 800 suddenly moved to 1,900 within 2 days? It's only the minister who can explain to us. Mr. Speaker, I want you to also go to paragraph 507. Mr. Speaker, paragraph 507, with your permission. He says, under the National Electrification Scheme, 117 communities have been connected to the grid, raising national electricity access, Mr. Speaker, to 89%. Government will expand this coverage through a 10-key implementation model targeting full national electrification within 5 years. Now, Mr. Speaker, this is quoted in the 2026 budget that the minister intends to connect 117 communities in order for the electricity access to get to 89%. But Mr. Speaker, ironically, Mr. Speaker, if you go to the 2025 budget, which was presented by the same minister, Mr. Speaker, on paragraph 568, the 2025 budget, the statement reads, and Mr. Speaker, with your permission, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition is committed to achieve universal access to electricity. Under the Rural Electrification Program, a total of 276 communities were connected to the national grid in 2024. That's the catchword. Increasing the national electricity access rate from 88.95% in 2023 to 89.03% in 2024. Mr. Speaker, I can tell you that the figure that the minister talked about, that they are now going to get to 89%, the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government by 2024 had already reached 89%. And I'm not the one saying it, Mr. Speaker. It is in their own budget, the 2025 budget. They had already acknowledged that the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government had already reached 89%. In fact, in the 2025 budget, they promised to move that 89% to 90%, which is the universal access rate. So they should just acknowledge. That is why I talked about honesty. Honesty. Mr. Speaker, they should be candid enough to accept that the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo achieved a lot. Now, Mr. Speaker, let me come to the IPP renegotiations. Mr. Speaker, the minister talked about some savings within IPP renegotiations. And Mr. Speaker, it's interesting. First of all, I want to thank the minister for now accepting that the contract that they signed between 2012 and 2016 needs some improvement. This is exactly the point we made about take or pay. Indeed, the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government was saddled with about $600 million a month in debt because of these IPPs. Mr. Speaker, the question is, who renegotiates a good deal? If it's a good deal, why do you renegotiate? If it is a good deal, why do you renegotiate? You cannot cause the problem, take plans to reverse it, and want us to give you credit for that. No. Mr. Speaker, it will not happen. In fact, Mr. Speaker, if you look at Senate, it was signed in 2013. Sano Asogli, 2014. Car Power, 2014. BX Solar, 2014. All these IPPs were signed under their term. If today you want to renegotiate a bad deal, just be honest. Be honest and acknowledge that you did a bad job. You did a bad job, and now you want to reverse it. But Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude. I want to conclude and say, we from our side, we are not going to be a destructive minority. We are always prepared, Mr. Speaker, to critique when necessary and prefer solutions when necessary. And in all these debates, Mr. Speaker, everybody has seen that the mighty minority, the mighty quality minority. Our job is to see this journey as a Ghana journey and not an NDC or an MPP journey. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, we will take the third round, and after the third round, we will pause and complete the VAT bill, then we come back. That is the agreement we reach before we reach in the precedent here we reach. So we take the third round, and I'll call on Honorable Emmanuel Bejura. Honorable, hold on.
Mr. Speaker, leader. Yes, I wasn't at conclave and my colleague has briefed me. And like you rightly said, we'll have a break and take this VAT bill. Mr. Speaker, my understanding was that we're going to have some form of winnowing on this VAT in view of some of the issues that cropped up yesterday. I have not seen such move. I don't want us to get there for matters to be raised as if one is obstructing or trying to delay. Sometimes such impression is created, and I don't like it. Mr. Speaker, we have been in government before. Our job as minorities is to support government when it comes to certain key policies for the governance of the country. That we commit. But Mr. Speaker, this VAT bill in its present form and shape, we would be hurting our country and the business community if we watch unconcerned and say we are going to pass it. Colleagues, no. Let's take our time. My respected friend, Dafia Mekpo, has been leading the winnowing. I would want to avail myself and that of my colleagues, Dr. Kabiru and Buamanyako and others, for us to sit. Honorable Deputy Minister, there is no rush. There is no rush. You have up to the end of the month, December, to get your appropriation and other things through. Let's not rush. Let's sit down. When you are in opposition, you call for broader consultation and consensus building. It's not a numbers game when it comes to bill, and you are going to impose tax. So please, let's not rush. Let's consult, let's discuss, and look at the teething issues, and not to introduce this and you want to rush it in clause 1, clause 2, and say third reading is passed. It will not pass. We're telling you.
Speaker.
Yes, let me listen to the minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the concern of the minority leader, except to let him appreciate the fact that we have consulted widely. In fact, when the minister came up with the decision to amend the VAT Act, and to actually bring an entirely new act, we started by consulting stakeholders. We have done a very wide range of consultation. We brought it to the House, it was referred to the committee. We have dealt with it in the committee. There was one issue that he raised yesterday, and we thought that we brought finality to it. We are open to other discussions if the minority wants some clearance on some of the issues. But the impression should not be created that we are doing this without consultation and that we are rushing anybody through. We have done thorough work, have engaged a lot of stakeholders, even outside the parliament. And so that impression should not be created at all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker, with respect, yesterday, when the matter was tabled, let me explain something to my respected colleague from Isojaman. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Finance mentioned this in his budget statement. And soon thereafter, papers were laid, referral made to the Finance Committee. The Finance Committee's report, when it was ready, the ranking on Finance Committee did not even see it. The deputy did not see it. Members on the minority side of the Finance Committee did not even see it. 3, the motion was introduced under certificate of urgency. So where is the consultation? Now, in the past, leaders would have the opportunity to peruse such policies, discuss it. Honorable Ampim, you say you have consulted and held discussions. I am right here. Tell me in the face whether this bill, I ever saw it, or even before you laid it, you gave copies to leadership. I'm here. Tell me in the face for Hansa to record that I am doing mischief. You cannot be introducing bills, policies under certificate of urgency and expect that we support you. However, if you think you have 189, you want to use your 189, so be it. You can get your 189 in this chamber, not less. meet the constitutional threshold, and do what you want to do. Let the people of Ghana see what you are doing. You are imposing new taxes on the people of Ghana under certificate of urgency, like you did in the 1 Ghana cedi per liter, the 18% on electricity tariff, and you expect us to be quiet. We will not be quiet. We will not be quiet. Our voices will be heard. This is not what you promised the people of Ghana. You promised them that you are not going to impose taxes on them. Live by that promise of principle, not convenience.
Thank you. So we'll take the third. Honorable Chief Whip, is it the same thing? We are going to go there. So you let's finish the last batch of.
No, Mr. Speaker, these are very serious matters.
You know something?
Mr. Speaker,
we will come here.
Mr. Speaker, just hear me. Mr. Speaker, I came to meet the minority leader in this chamber. He's senior to me, and he's senior to me in leadership. He knows that at this time of the year, there are a lot of engagements that take place. It's not everything that we bring to the floor. And so I respect the views and the concerns that he's expressing. But with all due respect to him, he shouldn't threaten us. He should not. He shouldn't say that it won't pass. He shouldn't say those things. We want to hear him and hear his concerns and factor them into the consideration of the bill. But to say that it will not pass shouldn't threaten us. So you should allow us to engage. The winnowing is now one of the committees that we will consider the matter. So I am looking for the opportunity that later today we can engage at winnowing and deal with the matters. So we want to make progress. He just went to do his press conference. We haven't responded to his press conference. We are minded to do business on the floor. So it should allow us to make progress. We take one more commentators on either side, and then we can deal with the instruments before us.
Mr. Speaker, the avant-garde of government business. When did he become a diplomat? I don't want diplomacy from you. You are in charge of pound for pound. Do pound for pound. Why are you being a diplomat? And you are talking about my press conference. When a judge is trying to forcefully remove Honorable Nyinda, Pandai MP is here. A judge is trying to remove him. Very well. And we want the nation to know. If you say you would engage on this matter, Ampim will come and sit here. You say you've engaged other people. This is a house of parliament. Even your own backbench, you have failed to engage them. Look at the empty seats. Look at the empty seat behind you, and you come and sit here, and then you say we should pass it. Well, I'm not threatening you. I'm not threatening you. I can't do that. I'm only promising you that we will not be part. If you have your 138, you can do it. Well, but it's good you are a diplomat. You are in government. We are in opposition. So, opposition, we do our thing. You are in government. You should be a diplomat. Mr. Speaker, the man has conceded. We don't need to fight him again. But Ampim should know that you are not doing any VAT bill today. You are not doing it. You should know. Carry your backbench along. Carry them. Carry parliament along. Empty seat behind you. Mindy Mifiasem. Oh, really? Trade Minister, have you had your resistance for 2025?
Yes, let me invite Honorable Emmanuel Begra.
Mr. Speaker, with the greatest of respect, my name has been mentioned. Mr. Speaker, I have been taken care of by the Finance Minister. I have received my releases and I'm working well, and the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness is doing perfectly well. I have enough money to do my work. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, my colleague is a very, very senior counsel. She has spent many years at the bar. Her distinguished service is not in doubt. Direct question. Have you received full releases as contained in the 2025 budget? Have you? That doesn't mean that you have enough money, doesn't mean they've released your money. Do you have your releases?
Honorable Minister, you have to address the chair. I haven't asked you any question. Yes, Honorable Manuel Bedra, let's hear you. You have 15 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me also add my voice to the budget statement and to commend the Ministry of Finance for bringing a budget that will reset this economy and bring jobs as well as develop economic transformation. Mr. Speaker, I've been in this House for the past 17 years. This is the first time I've seen a budget that has been customized. Every member of this House has a budget that is his own name embossed on it. For the newcomers, you haven't seen anything yet. This alone tells you that we are resetting and that there is economic transformation in this country, including your own budget. Mr. Speaker, let me correct an impression that was created yesterday. And with your indulgence, I want to state that when the minority leader was speaking yesterday, he made an emphatic statement that since 2018, the previous administration has not increased tariff. And that he said that this current administration has increased tariff to the tune of 18%. That was on record yesterday. Mr. Speaker, I want to correct it. Mr. Speaker, from the PURC website, in 2019, during the multi-year tariff review, an 11.17 increase of tariff for electricity was approved. Fourth quarter of 2019, 5.9 was approved. 2023, 27.15 was approved. First quarter of 2023, another 29.96 was approved. Then, Mr. Speaker, the second quarter of 2023, 18.36% was approved. Third quarter 2023, 4.22 was approved. Fourth quarter 2023, 1.52% was approved. Mr. Speaker, in addition to that, 2024, 1.4 was approved. Second quarter in 2024, 3.89 was approved. Third quarter 2024, 3.02 was approved. Mr. Speaker, if you add all this up, it comes up to 120.83% of electricity tariff that was increased from 2019 to 2024. This cannot be factual.
Honorable members, I think when we laid the ground rules, minority leader was not here. He just came in and he's been up throughout. But the ground rules was made clearly that we may not allow this interjection. So that's why I'm begging.
Speaker, with respect, ordinarily, if he is rebutting a matter in the public space, that's his right. But Mr. Speaker, he mentioned me specifically and said I had said something. Mr. Speaker, with due deference to Honorable Bejira, yesterday, my contention was to the effect that in 2018, government through PURC announced tariff reduction. That was an ipso facto submission I made. 2018, and if you check on their website, you will find it. And in fact, it is contained in the submissions of the minority to the PURC in the recent engagement we had. We quoted it. 2018, government of Ghana reduced electricity tariffs ranging from 18 to 30%. That is what I said. I never said anything about 2019, 2020 and all. So if you have your facts on 2019, you can state it, but don't say I misled the country, because I stated what is on public record by PURC. If you want to quote something else to dispute that one, then you can go ahead. But I beg of you, with the greatest deference, don't misquote me.
Thank you, Honorable. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the record is there for everybody to listen to. And for me, I want to put on record that from 2019 to 2024, the previous administration has increased tariff 123%. Mr. Speaker, having laid that foundation, I want to state that this current government has done extremely well when it comes to the power sector as well as the petroleum sector. The power sector, Mr. Speaker, we all know, was bedeviled with debts to the tune of, Mr. Speaker, $1.4 billion US dollars. $1.4 billion US dollars, without knowing how this money will be paid. The current administration, Mr. Speaker, through the leadership of the minister, has, Mr. Speaker, paid the tune of $300 million US dollars, and has negotiated that 2026 another $345 million US dollars will be paid. If you don't have an administration, a management of economy that thinks outside the box, you will not be able to pay for debts that you have accrued. Mr. Speaker, this clearly tells you that the current administration is doing better and far better than any other government. Mr. Speaker, having said that, we all know that power is the engine of growth. Without power, you cannot propel your engine. Without electricity, you cannot expand your economy. Without electricity, you cannot even sleep in your room because you need electricity to propel it. Mr. Speaker, having said that, all the IPPs, my colleague mentioned, he's not here, my colleague mentioned that there was renegotiation. Yes, indeed, if you have a leader who understands economics and negotiation, you will negotiate with your producers. And so the current minister and the ministry has negotiated through a negotiation team led by ASEPA, no other person but ASEPA, a think tank, to renegotiate the debts. And I can tell you that renegotiation will give us not less than 240 million USD as surplus. If we have continued in the lane that we're going, we wouldn't have gotten that money into our economy. And so the minister needs to be applauded for the good work that he's doing, as well as... Mr. Speaker, this did not come easy at all. We all know, and we heard from the Public Accounts Committee, how ECG has a lot of problems when it comes to the collection of revenue. But the prudent management of ECG, as well as the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, has helped this country. And today, I can tell you on authority that ECG has increased its revenue from, all we know, 900 million to over 1.7 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, this is something we call out of the box. But we know our colleagues, when they were there, there were procurement infractions. There were things that were not supposed to be done, but were done. We all heard all kinds of things at the Public Accounts Committee that ECG did, all because there were no proper supervision of ECG. Today, we have a proper supervisors of ECG. And ECG is doing everything in their power to make sure that light stays in our lights, in our lights. Mr. Speaker, when we came to power at the transition meeting, we were told that if we are not careful, there will be power outages, during the year. Today, there is power that the stability of power in this country. That is not all. Apart from the lights being on, Mr. Speaker, there is also, if you are a manager that thinks outside the board, that plans effectively, you will also know that you need to plan for tomorrow. And in this budget, Mr. Speaker, there's going to be a construction of 1,200 megawatts of thermal plant. Yeah. Why? Because even though we have power that is needed, we have power that will be enough for us, we still need to plan ahead. And the planning ahead is start the construction 2026. And these 1,200 megawatts will not be only for the country, but it will also be for export purposes. Yes. This, Mr. Speaker, resonates with our budget that we are resetting for growth, jobs, and economic transformation. If you want to build a factory in your constituency or your village, as it used to be that we have one village, one dam, one district, one factory, which there was no electricity because there was this or. Now, if you want to build factory in your village, because of the excess power, you can build factory in your village. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about electricity, I want to mention that we have moved, as my colleague has mentioned, that we are moving up to about 90% of coverage in this country. And that in 2026, there will be rural electricity acceleration and urban intensification initiative. Mr. Speaker, 2 billion Ghana cedis has been allocated for this phase 1. What will that do? It will expand electricity to every household in this country. Yeah. Every village will have electricity. Yeah. Every community will have electricity. Yeah. There will not be a community in this country after 2026 that will not have electricity powering their homes. Yeah. Inclusive government. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, we all know that our domestic natural gas is expected to reduce our cost generation by 75%. But Mr. Speaker, we saw that this domestic natural gas production that is will be reducing. The Jubilee partners, alongside with our Ghana Gas Company, we just had a meeting with them, and we've been told they have given us full assurance that from next year there will be GPP2. What is GPP2? Ghana Gas Processing Plant 2. Yeah. How would that do for us? It not only add to propel and engineer our thermal plant, but it will also be good for other industrial purposes. Now, this tells you that if you are a planner, you are an engineer, you are an economist, you must plan ahead. We sat down in this country without planning, without any additional plant. We were using the old plant and it was light off. And people could not add to their industry. But we have come. John Dramani Mahama has come to add to our thermal plant to make sure that we have additional thermal plant, we have additional gas processing plant, we have additional enough power in this country which can be used for export. Mr. Speaker, it is not only the gas processing plant that this administration is thinking of doing. We have also started a feasibility study of mini hydro plant in our rivers. This mini hydros, Mr. Speaker, will also help us in reduction of our prices. Why do we need to reduce the prices of electricity? We all know that within the sub-region, our electricity tariff is the highest. And so when you have gas on stream, you have thermal, you have hydro coming on board, your electricity bill will come down. And industries will also be effective. Having dwelled with the power sector, Mr. Speaker, let me move to the petroleum sector. Mr. Speaker, the petroleum sector, we all know, has a lot of issues, problem. We initially inherited 76.22 per barrel of oil. And Mr. Speaker, that will not help us in this country. The gas price, Mr. Speaker, now will be $7.53 per MMBTU for the next 7 years. And that, oh Lord, Mr. Speaker, will give us a total revenue of $985 million US.
Yeah.
This, Mr. Speaker, if you break it down, we'll have $190 million for GMPC and its equity financing, $795 million as benchmark revenue, $556 million for our ABF, which will be used for infrastructure projects, and then additional $238 million for our Ghana Petroleum Funds, stability and other funds. Mr. Speaker, this is the prudent management of our resources, natural resources that God has given to this country. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, let us know that the policy directives of this government, the direction that John Dramani Mahama and NDC is going, has given investors confidence to come to this country. Yeah. The Tullow Oil and its partners are prepared to sink in additional $2 billion US. Yeah. If you don't have a prudent manager, you will not have investors coming. For the past 8 years, we do not have investors coming to invest in this economy. They are rather leaving. And Mr. Speaker, I want to announce that this government will continue to do the right thing, will continue to make sure that ECG, through its cash waterfall mechanism, will continue to make sure that we have.
Thank you so much. It's now the 10. Yes.
Speaker, yet it's not the 10 for the third commentator from my brothers, but the understanding is that we want to seek your leave to curtail the commentaries for now, so that we go back, we vary the order of business, so we take the VAT and proceed with it at the consideration stage. Yes,
Mr. Speaker, because we were left with about 5 or 6 clauses, so we just do that, then you start from this side for the debate.
Well, honorable members, let's turn to page 9.